So let us continue with Euclid's geometry and the third question of exercise 5.1. I will read the question. Consider two postulates given below. Given any two distinct points A and B, there exists a third point C which lies between A and B. And second postulate is there exist at least 3 points that are not in the same line. Do these postulates contain any undefined terms? Are these postulates consistent? Do they follow from Euclid's postulates? Explain. Now, this is the question given, and the answer goes like this. Yes, these postulates contain two undefined terms. They are point and line. Here, point and line are not defined here. These are the undefined terms. And then, yes, they are consistent because they deal with two different situations. Okay, they are consistent because they deal with two different situations. And the first situation is, first is that 2 points A and B, say that given 2 points A and B, there exists a third point C lying on the line in between them. So, if A and B are the 2 points and a line passes through A and B, on this line a third point C can lie. Okay, this is the one. So it is consistent, it is true, it can happen. Second one says that given A and B, we can take C not lying on the line passing through A and B. Okay, so if you have 2 points A and B and a line passes through them, you can take a third point C such that it does not lie on the line AB and it forms a triangle. Now these postulates do not follow from Euclid's postulates, however they follow from Euclid's axioms. Now this is the answer for this question. This is more theoretical than practical. Now let us see the fourth question. If a point C lies between 2 points A and B such that AC is equal to BC, then prove that AC is equal to half AB. Now we will see the solution part. So on a line AB, it is given there lies a point C such that AC is equal to BC. If AC is equal to BC, then C becomes the midpoint of AB. Now given is AC is equal to BC, so we will add AC on both sides, because if equals are added to equals, the wholes are equal. 1 AC plus 1 AC is 2 AC, and BC plus AC, see here, BC plus AC. BC plus AC will be full AB. So BC plus AC coincides with AB. So I have written BC plus AC as AB. So BC plus AC will be what? Full AB. So AC will be, this 2 comes down, half AB. So AC is equal to what? BC, and that is again equal to half of AB. So if C is the midpoint of AB, then AC is equal to BC is equal to half of AB. Now we will see fifth question. In question 4, point C is called a midpoint of a line segment AB. Prove that every line segment has one and only one midpoint. So let us start like this. Let AB have two midpoints, say C and D. So we have taken a line AB and let AB have two midpoints, say C and D. If C is the midpoint, then AC should be equal to half AB, just like question 4. If D is the midpoint, AD should be equal to half AB. Here right hand side half AB are equal. A and A are equal. So C and D should be one and the only one point, same point. So there exists only one midpoint for a line AB or for any line. There cannot be more than two or more than one midpoint. Let us see question number 6. In figure, if AC is equal to BD, then prove that AB is equal to CD. See, they are given this line AD, then B and C lie between AD. They are given AC is equal to BD. So AC is equal to BD. How can you write AC? AC you can write as AB plus BC. That's what I have written. So AC is equal to AB plus BC. I have written that. Then BD is equal to what? BC plus CD. So BD is equal to BC plus CD. That's what I have written. So both sides you can subtract BC, that is cancel BC. So what you get? AB is equal to CD. How did we get this? This side also we subtracted BC. This side also we subtracted BC. So BC and BC got cancelled, and hence we got AB is equal to CD. So subtracting BC from both sides. Now seventh question. Why is axiom phi considered a universal truth? What is axiom phi? Recall axiom phi. Axiom phi says that whole is greater than its part. That is, full apple is greater than its slices, full earth is greater than its continents, and so on. Now, this is called a universal truth because it is true for anything in any part of the world. Okay, so take down these notes and we'll see the next exercise in the next class.